More uncertainty. Rumors are flying about possible massive ICE raids coming to Central Texas, but some in the community are calling those claims wrong and irresponsible.
KXAN crime reporter Leslie Rangel sat down with an immigration attorney today who is a former prosecutor for Homeland Security who specialized in handling deportations.
Do you think it's irresponsible for folks to begin saying, brace yourself, they're coming to your door?
We need to be a little bit more mindset of what kind of impact rumors have on communities.
Kevin Lashes says he's not discounting fears on immigrants being sent back to their countries. He's simply saying inciting more fear is not the way to go.
I think the noise is getting a little out of control.
Lashes says he understands where that fear comes from.
They're going back to 2006, 2007, when there were widespread worksite enforcement actions. When there were these actions, what would happen is children would be left at school, or they would be seeking assistance of the local church to identify where their parents were.
Do you find it in the realm of possibility that immigration could come knocking door to door on homes in Del Valley, here in Austin, Round Rock?
I don't think so, and I would hope not. I just don't think that local law enforcement has that capacity to be able to go door to door.
He says it's only certain people that should be on alert. Even Austin's police chief agrees.
If we are given the additional workload of enforcing immigration laws, that again will put a further drain on our resources that are already stretched pretty thin.
Where I think that the government is probably focused is exactly where the Obama administration was focused, and that is on criminal aliens.
Lashes says the bottom line is to stay informed.
I think that a calm will reset into the community.
In Austin, Leslie Rangel, KXAN News.
Joining us now for some perspective is NBC News political director and Meet the Press moderator Chuck Todd. Chuck, we are 2 weeks into President Trump's administration. The biggest topic here in Texas, of course, is the border wall. The president has promised to build. It seems today, though, many Republicans have stopped supporting that idea.
Look, I think getting this to fruition is going to be a very, very hard slog. Look, do I think there will eventually, if he really wants it, will there be the votes in Congress to appropriate the money to get this wall started? Yes. But here's where I think there's going to be other hurdles. I think there is a growing sentiment going, wait a minute, the American taxpayers are going to front this money. They're never going to get it back. That's number one. I think that's shaking people up. But I had an interview with the Attorney General of California, a Democrat, who essentially gave me 6 or 7 different ways that he believed he could file lawsuits that would essentially halt the start of construction, at least on the California part of the wall. And I think you would see private citizens, this isn't going to just simply be as easy as declaring eminent domain everywhere on this. So I think the practicality of trying to build it, coupled with the idea now that it has to be at best American taxpayers fronting the money, I am not surprised that you're seeing a growing chorus of lawmakers starting to wonder, is this fight worth it?
All right, Chuck.